This is Glenn Castle.
All right, how you doing, Glenn?
Yeah, I want to know can he come to the mental health and give a talk or a speech?
Oh, you mean?
I'm not saying.
I think he's asking you if you've ever given a talk on mental health or any speeches on mental health.
Well, sure, mental health fits in a lot when you talk about forensic pathology because it plays a prominent role in homicides, suicides, and even accidents. And it's related to so many things. Why do people kill other people? Why do people kill themselves? Why do people sometimes have accidents which you can't explain? And
right.
What we've been talking about with drug abuse. So absolutely, mental health is a real serious matter and something that I'm keenly aware of as a forensic pathologist.
Okay, I think he was asking if you ever do seminars on that topic.
Well, we've not done a seminar solely on mental health. We've done a lot of seminars and symposia on various aspects of forensic pathology, and within that framework, we've had people come in, forensic psychiatrists, forensic psychologists, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have yet another caller. Caller number, what's that, number 4?
4, whatever,
hello?
Please.
I mostly was thinking more about the politics of your persecution and stuff. And I've been active in county politics mostly as an issue advocate for a long time, and I've watched you, and you've been very courageous in taking on some issues that the corporate establishment particularly didn't like. And I noticed, however, that you sometimes go after your enemies in a very aggressive and sometimes bombastic way. And it occurred to me that that might have something to do with it. If you now, there's very few people with the tact of Bill Coyne. He was the one that I thought was so smooth that even the people he was disagreeing with had to give him his due. And I always wondered if it was a combination both of your courage and of your very aggressive style.
Well, you have given a very good analysis with which I cannot disagree, at least certainly not to a great substantive extent. I'm well aware of the fact that one can be more tactful, more diplomatic, and perhaps more patient and more sensitive. So when I think back on many things in the past and interpersonal relationships, political disagreements, etc., sure, I wouldn't disagree that things could have been handled in a different way. There's no question. However, those things did not constitute the basis for the legal action that was brought against me, but something else to which you referred. You talked about corporate entities. You did make reference to political people. This whole thing started as a result of the district attorney being unhappy with our conducting open inquest. It was my policy through the 10 years of 1970 to 1980 and through my 10 years of the second term of office as coroner, 1996 to 2006, every police-related death was a subject of an open inquest. Pursuit, apprehension, arrest, incarceration, every police-related death, we had an open inquest. And the district attorney, Zapata, did not like that. And he became increasingly angry and resentful that we continued to do that. And he is the one then that reached out to this disgruntled, disgraced, twice severely disciplined FBI agent named Bradley Orsini, who was sent to us from Newark, where he had been almost booted out of the office, including for the forging of signatures and initials of other FBI agents on formal official FBI documents. And then it was kicked down to Mary Beth Buchanan, and that tied in with her association with Karl Rove and Ashcroft. Remember the firing of the 9 Republican U.S. attorneys? That all was concocted and executed when Mary Beth Buchanan, the U.S. attorney, was the executive director of the U.S. Attorney's Office, executive office for U.S. attorneys, June of '04 to June '05. She's the one who hired Monica Goodling the poster girl for all of that stuff. So that's the story there. It wasn't because I had spoken out against this politician or that politician. I've given you the hard facts, which are not ruminations or conjectures, but which are hard, proven facts. Zapala to Orsini, to Cesar and Buchanan down the street, it's all a matter of record.
So I guess the worst that could be said is that your allies might have been more reluctant to come to your defense. Is probably the most that could be said about how your style.
You're a very perceptive individual, really. I got some private calls, and when I bump into somebody, they would express their sympathy and support. But you're right. However, I do want to say this, in fairness to them, that there came a time when many of them did speak out, including some of the most prominent Republicans. Elsie Hillman, former Congresswoman Melissa Hart, Bill Green, who's been the longtime publicist for the Republican Party, Jim Roddy, whom I ran against, and we're good friends. So thank you. So these Republicans, and then Senator Arlen Specter as a Republican, joined in, and they signed a petition calling for the case to be dismissed against me before it was. So I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of the fact then that so many people did express their support, including these extremely prominent, long-time Republicans. It took a lot of courage and conveys a great deal of ethical and moral character about those people that they spoke out when they did. And I shall always be grateful to them.
Well, I like you even, well, sometimes especially when you leave my jaw hanging open. But
okay, well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you, caller. We're going to move on. Now, before we get to a question from our newest guest here, actually visitor, he's a good guy, audience member. Before we get to him, I just want to say that I also signed that petition, and I want to be outspoken.
Albert, thank you. Thanks very much.
And that's why I wanted to have you on when I did the first time.
Appreciate that.
But it's, you know, I'm glad you explained what you just did to that caller. But it really was rather, I think it was a black eye for the whole area, personally. But I do want to...
People recognize it, Albert.
Also on your defense team.
Well, Richard Thornberg, former U.S. attorney, former governor, and former attorney general of the United States of America. In fact, it was Dick Thornburg that I went to, and he's a senior partner of the law firm of K&L Gates. And he's the one who lined up my excellent attorneys, Jerry McDivitt and Mark Rush, and the marvelous people that worked with them, other attorneys and secretaries and paralegals who worked into the night, on holidays, weekends. These guys are the greatest. That law firm is absolutely fantastic. I cannot say enough about K&L Gates. And it was through Dick Thornburg on to Jerry McDivitt and Mark Rush. And it is to those people that I owe so very much today, my family and I.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, we're going to have the gentleman in the audience. His name is Tony. We're going to have him ask a question. We're going to try to get to the other caller, but we're going to have to wait because I have a tape roll coming up right after this. And then we're going to move a little bit. Well, actually, I have a couple calls. We'll try to get to you. We will definitely try, but we have a tape roll to deal with, and I have to ask you some rather interesting questions.
All right, I'll try to keep my answers shorter. Yes, sir.
Yeah, maybe you want to shorten them just a wee bit. But anyway,
I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that when people die, there's a weight reduction in ounces. And could that be the human soul?
Well, I don't want to get into religiosity and spiritualism, but any weight loss really would be related to just a minimal degree of dehydration, body fluids, and so on. I'll have to allow priests, ministers, and rabbis to address the question of how much a soul weighs. I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to steer clear it out.
Believe in a soul. I'm not aware that anybody really has ever attributed any weight to it.
Okay. Well, I know you believe in a soul. I know you're very
it's a spiritual
deeply
thing.
Spiritual man. I do know that. Well, at this time, I would like to go ahead and show the tape roll, Monica and Kurt, and then we'll get back to Dr. Wecht.